No update. No, just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Caitlin Clark didn't just walk off the court injured. She broke down in tears, overwhelmed and exhausted. And no, this wasn't just another tough game. This moment carried the weight of everything she's endured. The pressure carrying a franchise, the physical toll of every minute played, an emotional strain of constant criticism and double standards. It was a breaking point. What we saw wasn't just a star athlete in pain. It was a young woman unraveling under the burden of an entire league resting on her shoulders.
Walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying. And I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening. But you could just tell that something happened on that play. And it was either the pain of it. It was either like, here we go again. It was frustration.
What happened against the Connecticut Sun wasn't just another injury. It was a culmination of systemic failure by her coach, the front office, and the league itself. Caitlin Clark's pain didn't come out of nowhere. It's been building from the moment she entered the WNBA. Let's stop pretending we didn't see this coming. In the preseason, she was already dealing with a quad injury. Instead of prioritizing her recovery, they flew her back to Iowa for a meaningless exhibition. Why? Not for development or rest, but for ticket sales and PR buzz. It was never about her health. It was about headlines. Then came the regular season. That same injury flared up again. Did they let her fully recover? No. As soon as the team started struggling, they threw her right back into the fire. Again and again. No regard for long-term well-being, just short-term profit. And now, here we are. Another injury. A groin issue. Likely caused by being overworked and underprotected. Is this her new normal? Because if you watch how the Indiana Fever are managing her, it feels like they're more concerned with jersey sales than preserving the career of their generational talent. Think about it. If this were LeBron, Steph, or Luka, would they be forced to play through pain like this? Of course not. They'd be protected, managed, guarded. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is being thrown out there night after night, expected to save the league while barely staying on her feet. And then it happened. She delivered a signature pass, a beautiful backdoor dime that lit up the crowd. And suddenly, she froze. One step, two, and she reached for her hip. Her face shifted instantly. She was trying to hold it together, but the pain was too much. She didn't wait for help or put on a show. She just walked, head down, hand clutching her side, off the court, tears in her eyes. Not dramatics, just raw, visible pain. And that's the part that should scare everyone. This is Caitlin Clark. She's been hacked, slammed, blindsided, and targeted in nearly every game, and she's never cracked. No complaints, no theatrics, just grit. But this time, she cried. That wasn't a reaction to a hard foul. That was a breaking point. Physical, emotional, and symbolic. So ask yourself, how do we get here? And more importantly, how much longer are we going to let it continue? Tonight was different. When Caitlin Clark buried her face into that towel, it wasn't just physical pain. It was the weight of everything finally crashing down. You could see it in her eyes. That was the face of a superstar who had been pushed past her breaking point. Not by a flagrant foul, not by a cheap shot, but by exhaustion. Pure, total, emotional, and physical burnout. Her body simply gave out on her. And that, more than anything, should terrify the Indiana Fever's front office. Because when an athlete that mentally tough finally breaks, it means the people around her failed badly. Why? To beat the Connecticut Sun in a regular season game in July? To sell out another arena for a quick buck? What's the cost of all this? You don't run your generational talent into ground before the All-Star break and expect her to quietly keep taking it. Sitting on that bench, tears in her eyes. Do you think Caitlin Clark wasn't asking herself real questions? About her health, her team, her future in this league? And then, to make the night worse, the referees decided to let the game spiral into chaos. From the opening tip, Connecticut was allowed to play Clark like a linebacker, grabbing her, holding her, shoving through every screen, and the refs swallowed their whistles. By the third quarter, the frustration was boiling over. Clark, normally composed, was openly yelling after every no call. Then during a review, cameras caught her turning to a referee and saying, clear as day, grow up. No filter, no hesitation, just raw, unfiltered emotion. Can you blame her? Since game one, Clark has been the target of every team's most physical defender. She's been knocked to the floor, shoulder-checked, elbowed, treated like a tackling dummy. And through it all, she stayed composed. But tonight, she couldn't hide it anymore. And honestly, good, because someone needs to say it. If the refs won't protect her, if her coach won't step in, then she has every right to fight for her own safety. But why is she the only one doing it? Despite all of it, despite the pain, the abuse, the non-calls, Clark still delivered. Before the injury, she had 14 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Her plus-minus was plus 21. She was the engine. When she ran the floor, Indiana surged. When she sat, Connecticut came back. Then came the fourth quarter. Clark hit a pull-up jumper, then a backdoor cut, then drained a deep three. Then came the free throws. She was taking over, giving Indiana the cushion they needed to close it out. And then her body betrayed her. That's what stings the most. She gave everything. Asterisk everything. Asterisk, and when she broke, when her groin gave out, when she couldn't run, who was there for her? Let's talk about Stephanie White, because these rotations make no sense. Clark plays 4 minutes, then sits 5, plays 3, sits 6. How's an elite athlete supposed to find rhythm like that, especially with a soft tissue injury? Ask any basketball player. Sit too long with tight quads or hips, then try to sprint cold, and you're begging for a strain. That's exactly what's happening. White pulls Clark right after she gets hot, benches her mid-scoring run, puts her on the floor with mismatched lineups. There's no rhythm, no trust, no plan. You'd think a team would treat their franchise player with care. You'd think they'd build a strategy around her. But instead, she's being treated like a second-year backup. And now, she's paying the price. How long until Caitlin Clark just says, enough, I'm done? Let's be honest, this isn't strategy. It's desperation. Big crowd? Play Caitlin. National TV? Play Caitlin. Groin still sore? Oh, well, sell those tickets. Every decision feels rushed and reactive. Nothing they're doing is about her long-term health. And worse, they're dragging her around the country. Events, appearances, media duties, back-to-backs. When is she supposed to recover? She's nursing a quad issue, now a groin injury, but she's still suiting up like she's 100%. Does the front office even know what it means to manage a superstar? Or are they just hoping she's too polite to say no? And of course, what did Stephanie White say after the game? The same thing she always says. She felt something in her groin. We'll get it evaluated. Sound familiar? It should. It's the same quote from a few weeks ago when Clark had a quad strain. Day to day, they said. Then she missed 10 days. Then she came back too soon. Then it happened again. So now when they say, we're just being cautious, how are fans supposed to believe that? Let's be real. Caitlin Clark has been coming back too soon, playing through too much, and carrying too many expectations. And if this team doesn't change how they handle her, they might lose more than a few games. They might lose a player that's holding their entire future together. Caitlin Clark didn't just leave the court with a limp. She left in tears. And if you think this was just another game, you're missing the bigger picture. Tonight was different. When she buried her face in that towel, it wasn't just physical pain. It was complete exhaustion. Emotional, mental, physical. You could see it all over her. This wasn't the result of one bad play or a single tough hit. Her body finally gave out. And that should terrify everyone in the Fever front office. Because when someone as strong as Clark breaks down, it means they've been pushed far past their limit. And for what? A regular season win in July? Another sold-out crowd? What's the real cost of all this? You don't run your franchise star into the ground before the All-Star break and expect her to keep smiling through it. She's carried this team every single night. And when she finally reached her breaking point, who was there for her? Let's talk about the refs. From the opening tip, Connecticut was allowed to do whatever they wanted, grabbing, holding, bodying Clark off every screen. And the whistle never came. By the third quarter, her frustration boiled over. You could see her yelling after every missed call. Then the camera caught her during a review, turning to a ref and saying, crystal clear, grow up, no filter, no hesitation, just pure frustration. Can you blame her? This isn't new. She's been targeted since game one. But tonight, she couldn't hold it in anymore. And honestly, good. Someone had to say it, because the officials haven't protected her. Her coach hasn't either. So she finally spoke up. But why is she the only one fighting for her own safety? Even through all of that, Clark still produced 14 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds before the injury. She ran the offense, pushed the pace, created for everyone. And when she got hot in the fourth, a mid-range jumper, a deep three, a backdoor cut, bang, bang, bang. She gave Indiana their cushion. Then her body quit on her. That's the heartbreak. She's giving everything, every single night, just to keep this team alive. But when she needs protecting, when she needs support, where is it? Let's be honest. Coach Stephanie White's rotations make zero sense. Playing Clark in short bursts, pulling her right after she scores, pairing her with mismatched lineups. None of it is working. You're managing your franchise star like a rookie off the bench. And with soft tissue injuries like hers, quad and groin, you don't stop and start like that. You either commit to playing her properly or you sit her. Because this halfway approach is only making it worse. And here's the real problem. Nothing about this looks planned. Everything feels rushed. It's not strategy, it's desperation. Camp day? Play Caitlin. Big crowd? Put her in. Groin still hurting? Oh, well, sell those tickets. She's flying city to city, doing media, playing through pain with no rest. How is she supposed to heal? And when she breaks down again, we hear the same line from White. We'll evaluate her. Sound familiar? It should. They said the same thing with her quad injury, and she missed 10 days. This isn't caution, it's carelessness. And what makes it worse is the silence, the lack of honesty. Clark isn't just any player. She's a reason fans are watching. And yet she's being treated like a commodity, pushed out there game after game to sell out arenas, with little concern for her well-being. And the truth is, fans notice. We remember the tears, not the box score. Sure, Indiana won tonight. Mitchell dropped 23. Howard was solid. But all anyone will remember is Caitlin Clark in visible pain, walking off broken. This was supposed to be a celebration, a statement game before the break. Instead, it's a wake-up call. What's happening behind the scenes in Indiana? Who's running this team? And why are they letting this happen? Because from the outside, it looks like a complete breakdown in leadership, coaching, and medical management. And here's the hard question. Was this one even worth it? If the Fever actually care about Caitlin Clark, and not just the money she brings in, then there's only one answer. Shut her down. Not just a minute restriction. Shut her down. No all-star game. No three-point contest. Let her rest. Let her actually heal. Because if you keep pushing like this, it's not a matter of if something serious happens. It's when. And when that moment comes, it'll be on all of them. She's already fought through a quad strain. Now it's the groin. What's next? ACL? Achilles? Is that what it'll take for someone to finally step up? Because at this rate, don't be surprised if she checks out mentally before she even gets a chance to recover physically. And can you blame her? She's not being treated like a human being. She's being treated like a ticket. But Clark is more than that. She's the face of the franchise, the face of the league. She deserves better. So ask yourself this. Do you truly believe the Indiana Fever are doing what's best for Caitlin Clark? Or are they just doing what's best for business?